Nous sommes à Barbate sur la mission Save the Iberian Orca et avec les dernières interactions qu'il y a eu ici il y a 2 semaines, on a vu beaucoup de réactions sur les réseaux et notamment beaucoup de discussions par rapport aux 2 théories qui s'opposent sur quoi faire en cas d'interaction entre une orque et un voilier. Donc on a voulu y voir plus clair et pour ça on va en parler avec Ingrid Visser, c'est une spécialiste néo-zélandaise des orques, elle les a étudiées un peu partout dans le monde et elle nous attend à l'intérieur. So Ingrid, you've come with us at sea for quite a few days now during the past few months, and today I really wanted to talk about, because we see a lot of questions that are coming back on social especially, or even like sailors that are coming through here and discussing with us, and they quite often ask us why the orcas do that. So what's your perspective on that now that you've seen them, you know, interact with boats and with our boat, but also with sailboats?
Yeah, I mean, for me, putting it in the framework of watching orca all around the world, I would say that it's play. You know, it's obviously detrimental to some of the boats. You know, they're breaking the rudders, as we know, and they're bending others, but it's play. And if it was aggression, which some people are claiming, I think that we would be seeing a lot more damage to the boats. And I'm not sure what the exact numbers are at the moment. Do you?
We have, well, 7 boats have sunk.
Okay.
Yeah, and we are over like almost 900 interactions since 2020.
Yeah, so then you balance that out as well, right? And that tells you a lot, because if they were interacting that much with boats, if they were intent on revenge, like some people have said, then I think we'd see a lot more boats sunk. And nobody has been killed, thank goodness. A couple of people have been injured when they've been trying to, you know, look after their boats, but it wasn't directly the result of the orca hurting them. And yeah, I'm seeing a lot of play behavior, things like bubble blows, and the youngsters getting involved a lot, but all age classes, both sexes, and yeah, play.
Yeah, so it's not also, because one of the theory was that it was the young one doing the interactions and the other one watching, but that's not what we saw.
Right, and we've seen the adult males come right in, we've seen the females come in, and one of the ones that started the whole thing is an adult female, and she's got a number of calves and they've been watching her and learning as well, right?
But there's been also orcas from a different family doing it also.
Yeah, exactly, so it's spread as a, if you like, a trend throughout this community.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so the other big questions that, and that's also why I wanted to talk with you today, because it's a bit like two-sided. So you have people who say, okay, in case of an interaction, so everyone agrees that you have to go towards shallow waters, because especially here in the Strait, because that's where you have the less chance of having an interaction. But then in case of an interaction, there's like kind of two schools. One says you stop the boat and do nothing and wait. That's the recommendation from France and Portugal.
Yeah.
It used to be the one from Spain also, but that changed last year. And so now the recommendation, like the Spanish ones, are that you should, you know, motor fast and leave the area. So I wanted to have your perspective on that, especially in the light of what we saw over the past couple of months and the different interactions and reports we've seen.
Yeah, and look, I don't think that it's one answer fits all. Trying to understand what the animals are doing and how they're doing it in the process, the whole sequence of events, it's apparent to me that there's different things that are triggering them. So when we were with them the other day, for example, they were hunting tuna, and then suddenly they just turned and off they went, right straight for this boat, and there was no stopping them. They went from a long distance at full speed, and then when they got there they were tag teaming, you know, different individuals coming in and interacting with the boat. The vessel, from what I could see, dropped its sails and stopped, and I think at that moment that was the wrong thing to do, because one, they were in water where they shouldn't have been. It was much deeper than the recommended area. And then 2, when they stopped, they basically said to the orca, oh, have at it, take it, do what you want. And then your recommendation to them over the radio was, look, start your engines, move into the shallows as fast as you can, and within 5 minutes the orca had gone.
So yeah, last year, for example, the 2 boats that sunk did just that. So they went like full speed ahead, trying to leave the area, and yet the interaction continued, and eventually they you know, it made so much damage to the boat that they sunk. And we've heard about sailboats also that stopped and the interaction lasted a few minutes and the orca left. So it's like every new case is kind of contradicting another.
Yeah.
So,
and look, they're wild animals. And as much as we think that we can predict what they're going to do, clearly we can't. And so I think that it's a matter of being flexible in your ideas and flexible in looking at the behavior of the animals. And I have sailed on boats for most of my life, and I understand, that there's different scenarios that suit different locations. For example, if you're sailing into the wind, it might be quite hard to get in close to the coast, or if there's a lot of rocks. But if you can meet the recommendations, then you should. They're recommendations for a reason, right?
Yeah, yes, and especially here in the Strait, where it's fairly easy to follow them. It's a bit more difficult when you are on the Portuguese coast, for example.
Yeah. And we know that the orca in that area are going in a lot closer to the coastline as well than compared to the area in the Strait of Gibraltar. Yeah. And when you look at the damage that's being done to the boats, a lot of it's coming from the animals pushing against the rudder, right? So they're not biting it, they're not trying to snap it off, but they're pushing and pushing and pushing. And if they push at the bottom, sometimes it snaps and then game over. They pretty much leave. But if it doesn't snap and they keep pushing it, then that shaft is bending, and as we saw the other day, around the whole gland around the boat, that's where the water's getting in, of course.
Yeah, and there is also like a technical problem in the way that the boats are not really designed for that kind of damage, and because as soon as the water starts flowing in, usually it just spreads on the entire boat. Like there is not like a compartment, let's say, around the rudder that could act as a
buffer zone.
Yeah, basically. And so in case the rudder breaks, it might fill up with water, but it doesn't spread to the rest of the yacht. So it's also a design issue on most of the yachts, really.
Yeah, and I mean, we're seeing some people trying to come up with solutions to stop the orca with great big spikes on the rudders and blades on the rudders. And look, I don't think that they're going to work, and these are very intelligent animals. They're highly motivated, whatever it is that's motivating them. In some instances, it might be that they just want to snap the rudder and they're waiting for that pop sound and then the game is over. In other instances, it just seems to be just push and push and push. And
move the boat around, because we saw them doing that and pulling the boat around, like changing the course of the boat.
Right. Well, and of course they did it to your boat here when we were on board, and the whole boat's leaning over because they're pushing against it. But they're incredibly powerful, but when that play escalates to the next level and the boats get damaged, we're seeing people are getting pretty desperate, and they're doing a lot of things to try and stop the animals, and some of them are really nasty things.
Yeah, so we saw, like we've experienced firecrackers that some of them are buying, and we tried to throw them next to the boat, and it was pretty impressive. Like we didn't expect that, really.
No.
Didn't expect it to be that powerful and that noisy, and
Yeah.
It's really worrying for the orcas.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, my ears were ringing for about 20 minutes afterwards, and the crackers weren't right close to the boat. So if you were an orca and it landed right next to you, and permanent hearing loss, could cause them to go blind, could kill an animal, and many times there's young calves in there too, so the impact for a small animal would be much bigger even.
Yeah. So that's really something we need to work on, because these crackers, like these firecrackers, you can legally buy them here in Spain. You're not supposed to use them on the orcas, but obviously no one is out there, on each single boat checking out what's going on, and we see like many orca of this population disappear, and we don't really know why. So that could be also like a track to follow to try to figure out what's happening to these protected animals.
Yes, absolutely. And there's the story, if there's no body, there's no crime, and we don't have any way to prove that this is how the animals are dying. But these firecrackers and these tuna bombs that we hear they're sometimes called, they're prevalent on some of the social media groups. And so clearly people are escalating the event themselves as well.
Yeah. And we found out that they are very easy to buy, and apparently they are being sold in big quantity. So it means a lot of yachties are buying them and carry them on board when they go through the strait.
Yeah, and I assume it's the same for you for the rest of the season, but the part of the season that I've been here, I've never seen a police boat out there checking the yachts. I've never seen any government officials in the harbour checking and talking to people. So I don't think that there's any education. I don't think there's any controls, and then there's certainly no consequences.
Definitely, yeah.
Except for the orca.
As always.
Yeah.
Yeah. Donc malheureusement, comme vous le voyez, il n'y a pas de solution miracle. On a pu observer, nous, et étudier différents cas qui se contredisent, en fait, qui contredisent les différentes recommandations. On n'est pas dans la tête des orques, on ne sait pas pourquoi elles font ça. On manque encore un peu de recul pour comprendre exactement ces interactions. Donc dans l'immédiat, la meilleure chose à faire de toute façon, en particulier ici dans le détroit, c'est de longer la côte et rester dans les eaux pas profondes, moins de 20 mètres de fond. Ça fonctionne, on voit énormément de bateaux qui suivent ces recommandations et qui passent le détroit sans encombre. Et au large des côtes portugaises et nord espagnoles, c'est plus risqué, c'est plus difficile de suivre ces recommandations. Donc le mieux, en attendant de savoir plus, c'est d'éviter cette zone au maximum en cette période de l'année quand les orques sont présentes. Donc notre campagne Save the Iberian Orca, c'est une campagne long terme. On va continuer de la faire année après année, puisque notre but principal, c'est la protection des orques avant tout. Je rappelle que les orques ibériques sont en danger critique d'extinction. Il y en a qui disparaissent, il y a des individus qui disparaissent. Elles font face à beaucoup de menaces et on a encore beaucoup de travail à faire pour comprendre exactement ce qui se passe, comprendre pourquoi certaines disparaissent. Elles ont des menaces liées à la pollution, aux collisions avec les bateaux et ainsi de suite. C'est un animal clé dans l'écosystème, dans les océans, et donc c'est important qu'on passe du temps sur le terrain pour mieux comprendre ce qui se passe.